members of Sheriff's Office Elite Narcotics Unit believed they were protecting an informant. By Lee Williams, staff writer, Sarasota. 4 Sarasota County Sheriff's Office detectives assigned to an elite narcotics unit who lied under oath about a drug trafficking arrest will not be charged with criminal perjury, a letter from Assistant State Attorney W. Earl Varn states. Varn, a seasoned prosecutor and division chief, reviewed the findings of a criminal investigation that the Sheriff's Office conducted of their 4 detectives, and found that probable cause does not exist for perjury regarding false statements given by deputies during depositions. The Sheriff's Office investigators concluded that the 4 detectives lied both in depositions and in their official reports, because they believed they were protecting the identity of a confidential informant. Despite the findings, Sheriff's Office investigators say they lack sufficient probable cause to charge the deputies with criminal perjury because their falsehoods were not material to the criminal case against the drug trafficker. After he reviewed the investigators' case, Varn concurred. The fact they said or didn't say a confidential informant was involved didn't affect the outcome of the case, as there were other independent ways to show that the defendant was in possession of the drugs, such as his fingerprint found on the garbage bags, Varn told the Herald Tribune Wednesday. Now that the criminal investigation is over, the sheriff's internal affairs investigation officially begins. According to a complaint filed today by Sarasota Sheriff's Chief Deputy Colonel Kurt Hoffman, the 4 detectives have been accused of violating the department's rules concerning conduct unbecoming, conformance with laws, moral character, neglect of job duties, completion of reports and documents, conduct which creates doubts regarding honesty, untruthfulness in official proceedings and false reports. The internal affairs case was assigned to Lieutenant Michael Mercurio, the department's IA chief. Lieutenant Mercurio will be directed to arrange meetings with each of the deputies to advise them of the contents of this memorandum and the fact they are facing disciplinary penalties up to and including termination if these violations are sustained, Hoffman wrote, adding that the deputies will remain on administrative leave pending the internal affairs investigation. The case. The perjury case stems from the arrest of Jose Julian Perez, who was stopped by members of the Tactical Anti-Crime, or TAC, unit in March. TAC team detectives James Dilling, Patrick Bassett, James Lynch and Greg Duncan stopped, arrested, wrote reports and gave depositions in the case against Perez. A report written by Lynch indicates that he pulled Perez over in the southbound lanes of Interstate 75 near Clark Road solely because he was not wearing a seatbelt. A sheriff's dog, according to the report, sensed the presence of narcotics in Perez's Chevrolet pickup. Deputies searched the vehicle and found 3 packages wrapped in duct tape that later tested positive for cocaine. The total weight of the drugs was 6 pounds and 56 pence. Perez was charged with cocaine trafficking, a first-degree felony. But reports written later by Duncan and Lynch mentioned that a confidential informant was involved in the case. While deposed under oath, the 2 law officers never said that an informant's tip led to the traffic stop. They wrote their supplemental reports after their depositions. This, along with other inconsistencies in the reports and in other depositions, caused officials to become suspicious of the real reason for the stop. The detectives, it was learned, lied about the reason for the stop. Instead of a random drug interdiction stop for a traffic violation, the team knew exactly where and when Perez, with the cocaine, would be driving on I-75 because the informant was riding with him in the pickup. The criminal case against Perez, which should have carried a 25-year minimum mandatory sentence, began to fall apart. Perez, a Brownsville, Texas, native, took a plea deal and received a 4-year sentence. His lawyer, Sarasota defense attorney Varinia Van Ness, balked at the lack of criminal charges against the detectives who arrested her client. It's a shame that neither the sheriff's office nor the state attorney's office recognize that this should have been investigated by an outside agency, like the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Van Ness said Wednesday. These agencies work closely with each other all day long. I can't see how they make an objective decision about people they work with every day.